700,000 pro-EU protesters marched in London this past weekend to demand a second Brexit referendum because nothing is quite as European as rejecting the results of a previous referendum. United States of Europe making fun of the EU the American way. Brexit, as I've said from the beginning, it's never going to happen because Europe has a long history of rejecting referendum results. Take, for example, Ireland voting on the EU Constitution, the Lisbon Treaty. Ireland initially put the whole process into doubt by rejecting the treaty in a referendum held in June 2008. And the EU was like, oh, close, why don't you try again? Then a second referendum held in 2009 approved the treaty. Europe, we're so democratic we let you keep on voting until you come up with the right result. And now 700,000 Brits have signed on to a petition demanding a second Brexit vote, making this the first time, perhaps in all of history, that the British have said, yes, we'd like to be more like the Irish, please. But is it really accurate? If you read the fine print, what they're demanding is actually a separate vote, a referendum on the final Brexit deal. See? It's not like they're saying, vote again. Okay, never mind. Let's just get to my top 10 favorite Brexit protest signs. At number 10, Brexit will be as shit as this sign. And he really committed himself to the concept because the sign really is that hard to read. Sort of a metaphor for Brexit itself. Number 9. This is like when Geri Halliwell overestimated her viability as a solo artist and left the Spice Girls. Now wait a minute. According to that metaphor, the EU is the rest of the Spice Girls. And if by that you mean peaked in the 1990s, you may have a point. Number 8. Even Baldrick had a plan. But that's not fair. They do have a plan. Pulling out. To which this sign replies, pulling out doesn't work. Just ask her mom. And speaking of moms, my mother-in-law lives in Spain. Please don't make them send her back here. Now that is just implying that British people in Spain would never want to learn a second language and get a second passport. Actually, yeah, you may have a point. At number 5, 17 million people voted for Hitler. 17 million people. Nope, sorry. Godwin's Law. At the new number 5, this bookshop with, please note, the post-apocalyptical fiction section has been moved to current affairs. The Bible has been moved to fiction. At number 4, just free-range animosity toward British Tory leaders such as Eton Mess, Boris U. Wanker, and a pee station. A pee station? For dogs? Ah, see what they've done there. They've put the Tory leaders on the post, which reminds me of these statues which have popped up during campaign season in the United States. At number 3, the Leave campaign vote being Banksy'd. And at number 2, a series of cinematic references, starting with Dr. Strangelove, or Dr. Strangemog. But the best quote from the film, how is it possible for this thing to be triggered automatically and at the same time impossible to untrigger? Then, of course, the Titanic metaphor, and let's not forget a Star Wars reference. It's a trap! And at number 1, paraphrasing the movie Jaws, we're going to need a bigger vote. So says this shark.